Sorry. Oh, my bad. I'm here. I'm here. Oh, like run downstairs. Hey, assholes, how are you? I had to run downstairs. I freaking didn't take my allergy medication. I could feel my eyes freaking ripped out. I had to run downstairs and grab it real quick. Sorry, I was trying to post a video before I went on. All these things I have to do. All right. To walk. I have to work. I have to post videos. I have to research. I have to be here. Just busy. All right. We're here now. We're good. We're here now and we're good. All right. We did it. We made it. First world problems. Yeah. First world problems. You're correct. That is a correct statement. Make clone. Thank you so much, Electric. I appreciate that. Where do you say? Yeah. So I'll agree with Sodium on this one. I just need a clone. So if anybody has any good cloning technology. No way. No way. Sorry. I just heard some news. Yeah, so if anybody has any good cloning technology, I am in the market. Love nature. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. I am in the market. All right. If you happen to have some laying around. Okay. But isn't one clone like, hold on, like when you do like clone, isn't like usually one like an evil clone? I'm not super sure how cloning works. Is there like one good clone, one evil clone? Am I the evil clone or the good clone? That's the question. Which clone am I? Vicky, I hope you do too. I hope you get bingo. I am Squid Games. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. I saw that. Thank you so much. Am I the good clone or the evil clone? You can just have two clones, so they can both be evil? Corey's letting me know that both the original and the clone can also be evil. See, I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning. Am I the clone already? Love nature. Thank you so much. Am I already the clone? What if I'm already the clone and I don't know it? Definitely Breaker. Yes, I do also I am here too. This is kind of a newer thing. As you can see by my following list there. But yes, I'm also over here, which is pretty cool. So welcome over. Dog Gamer, what's going on? How you doing? The first two dinos were for my clone. These ones are for me, or my original. I'm the clone. I'm still not sure. I'm still haven't quite figured out how it works. Still not quite sure on how the cloning thing works. Maria, thank you. Maria. Thank you for the follow over on Twitch. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, y'all. I'm in all places. So if you guys want to like support and be there and follow me on the different platforms, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I will tell you, they all have varying levels of craziness in the chat. They all have varying levels of craziness in the chat. But yes, I am over on Twitch also. I'm on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. I'm in all the places. So if you guys would like to follow me on a different one or all of them, which would be super cool. Mariah. Okay, thank you. If you'd like to follow me on all of them, or any of them, or different ones, please do so. That'd be very, very nice of you. I'd appreciate that. Teddy, you are right, okay? But it depends on which one you're in, because there's actually two. I don't know if you know that. There's two. One of them is really chill. One of them is craziness. One of them is just wild. If you want a calmer chat, you go to either my landscape live on YouTube or you go to my Twitch chat. Those are the calmest. If you want a more hectic one, my portrait live on YouTube is definitely more hectic, and my TikTok one is a lot more hectic. But if you like calmer spaces, that's where you go. Dune, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, we're about to get this thing going, get this thing moving. Yes, it is the calmest and chillest there. That is the calmest, for sure. All right, let's open up these phone lines. Let's get this thing moving. I really appreciate that. And Sodium is also correct. He's on the craziest. He's on the wildest. That is no lies. No lies. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good myself. How about you?
Good. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Awesome. What's on your mind? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. What's on your mind?
These tariffs, they're destroying our economy. And that's one thing I disagree about this man on. But honestly, I'm just like this immigration thing, where he's like taking all of them out. It's helping our country. It takes our crime rates down.
It's not a very good accent.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, you're trying to do an accent and you're not doing a good job.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I also don't think you're doing a good job. I'm glad we can agree.
All right. Well, bye.
that was, you did not do a good job. Okay. I live in the South. Okay. I know what a Southern accent sounds like. You can't fool me. Okay. Nope. Nobody. That sounds like someone who's never been to the South trying to sound like they've been to the South. Y'all, make sure you guys are coming to hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
So, should I make my claim?
No, you should calm down. I said, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 18.
Awesome. What year were you born?
I was born 2007.
Awesome. So do you support Trump?
I do support Trump.
All right. What's on your mind?
All right. I believe I support Trump because of his stance on Israel. And more specifically, I believe that Israel's actions in Gaza are morally justified as acts of self-defense against a terrorist group. And accusations of genocide or disproportionality do not hold up under international law or moral reasoning.
Awesome. So how long did it take you to write that down and recite it to me?
Probably 3 to 4 minutes.
3 to 4 minutes. Okay, that's good. I don't really do that whole like read from a script, like try to have like a formal debate thing. This is more of just a conversation.
Okay, yes, that was my script. I mean, if you want, we can just have a conversation now. But that was my reasoning for why I support Trump, if you want to know.
Okay, so you believe, okay, that Israel is self-defending themselves even though they're not currently being attacked?
I believe that they're not only just self-defending themselves, but they're also in that pursuit not committing a genocide.
Sure,
And
hold on. We're
think
not
the smartest way to do it-
at the genocide part yet. We're still on the
Okay, sounds
self-defense
good.
part. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's make this pretty easy, okay? Did you hear about that case of that kid who got shot and killed like doing the ding dong ditch thing?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I forgot what state it's in. But there was this kid who went up to somebody's house and they were playing ding dong ditch. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, I assume I don't think kids still play ding dong ditch. There's probably a reason for that. Probably reasons like this. But when I was younger,
Yeah,
kid,
fair enough.
we played like ding dong ditch, right? You go and you ring the doorbell, then you run away. Ha ha ha! They had to come to the door. It's just a dumb little thing that kids do, right? So this guy answers the door, sees that a kid is playing ding dong ditch in it, right?
Mhm.
Grabs his gun. All right. Chases the kid down the street. All right.
Really?
Chase the kid down the street. All like half a block down the street and then shoots him in the back. Okay?
That's crazy.
Now do you think that that's self-defense?
No, because what I think is self-defense is the inherent right of individuals to defend against an armed attack if an armed attack occurs.
And
That's what I believe
I
self-defense
completely
is.
agree with you, okay? Like I completely agree
Yeah.
that that people have the right to defend themselves, nations have the rights to defend themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like when Israel was attacked on October 7th, they 100% had the right to defend themselves against that threat. Okay?
Sure.
And I have literally zero, I 100% agree with that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That was 2 years ago. Okay?
Yes.
There hasn't been a significant attack against them since by, coming from that region. Okay. Does Hamas still pose a threat to Israel? Yes, they do. Okay.
Yes.
100%. Okay. They still do. And I just posted a video about this like not too long ago, or not too long ago, literally right before I got on this live. Right. And it was actually discussing immigration policy, but the whole theme of it was the way that we do things matter. Right. You don't have to pick a side and just stick to that side and then say whatever, the ends always justify the means, right? And that one was guided at immigration, right? But I think it's also a perfect, example of something in this situation, right? Does Israel have the right to defend themselves? Yes, absolutely. Okay. Do they have their right to go after their attackers? They absolutely do. Okay. But at a certain point, it's no longer self-defense, okay? And a certain level of civilian casualties, in my book, is not good, okay? Especially when we're talking about children, when we're talking about elderly, when we're talking about, people in hospitals. We don't just bomb a hospital because a terrorist organization is using the tunnels underneath it, if that is the case. We don't take out the whole hospital because those people above in the hospital don't have anything to do with that. And that's not right. And that's not fair, right?
Look,
to take innocent life.
But you really think, though, that are you referring to the Al-Shafra hospital?
I'm referring to multiple hospitals in which Israel has attacked during this.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know. I think personally, just in terms of if the Hamas is in the tunnels that is being occupied by civilians, then I wouldn't put the moral blame necessarily on Israel. I would actually direct it towards Hamas because I think Israel does have a moral obligation and a justifiability to their own nation to attack people who are seeking genocide in Israel.
Hold on. So you want me to put the moral
bombing a hospital occupied by Hamas would be blamed on Israel? I'd actually blame that on Hamas.
No, hold on. Do you expect me to put morals towards a terrorist organization?
I think that they are immoral. So in terms
no.
the
The whole idea of a terrorist organization is that they're immoral. That's the
Yes.
whole point. But you're now asking me to assign a moral task to an immoral organization. How does that make sense?
I'm saying that you can't blame Israel for
Sure
something that
can.
they did morally wrong.
Who hit the
Why?
button?
It doesn't matter.
No,
If they are bombing
it
Hamas, then they have a justifiable.
100% matters. It 100% matters. Okay?
Why?
Why? Because we expect a certain level of morals out of a full military like the IDF and out of Israel. Okay? Because they're the ones that hit the button, right? Israel has probably the most robust military and the best
They do.
special forces in that
do.
entire region, right?
Agreed.
So if Israel wanted to avoid mass civilian casualties, they could. They chose not to. Okay? They chose not to.
The thing is,
Hold
I
on.
feel like where
Is
you're getting at-
Hamas wrong
okay, sorry.
is Hamas wrong for doing that? Yes. Okay? But somebody has to be moral, right? Somebody has to be, right?
No, what I'm saying though is that what you're basically saying is that if Hamas is located throughout a densely populated region such as Gaza, the Gaza Strip is quite small in proportion to the rest of the world, then Israel cannot bomb them. And so how are you going to say that Israel has a right to simultaneously kill Hamas, but they can't kill civilians who are embedding themselves with Hamas? It's a paradox.
It's easy. Is Israel part of the Geneva Convention?
Honestly, I'm not sure, but just explain the way that you think they could do that.
The answer is yes. Okay. Israel is part of the Geneva Convention. We're part of the Geneva Convention. We made agreements to say that when we fight wars, okay, we are going to do things humanely, right? We are not going to attack hospitals. We are not going to attack churches, right? We are not going to attack when there is, a higher chance of mass casualty. Right? This is what we agree to. Do terrorist organizations fall under the Geneva Convention? Of course not. They're terrorist organizations. Okay? But we agreed to that. And let's also be very clear that the only reason why someplace like Gaza is so densely populated is because of Israel. They're the reason why that dense population exists to begin with.
Okay, but I'm not even going to try and argue on that. I mean, we could if you'd like afterwards, but I'm just saying, how do you expect Israel to simultaneously annihilate Hamas, which you believe is justifiable, while also not killing the civilians that Hamas is locating themselves amongst? And that's through various ways that they do violate international law. That's stipulated by the ICC, whether that's dressing up as civilians or embedding themselves within hospitals and under tunnels, which has been cited numerous times. So until that answer is given, I don't really know how else Israel's supposed to respond. And their first moral obligation, I feel like, is to their own citizens.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, okay? When we went after Al-Qaeda, did we just bomb all of Afghanistan and every country that held Al-Qaeda?
I don't believe so. I'm not well versed on Al-Qaeda.
Well, then how did we possibly go after them if we didn't just indiscriminately bomb any brown person in the Middle East that looked like they were Al-Qaeda?
I'm not sure, but how would you suggest Israel does this?
Well, sir, you said, how could I expect Israel to do this? I expect Israel to do it because every other country who's ever gone after a terrorist organization has done it. Okay? Because we use intelligence. Yes, and
did the Nazis would be terrorists?
No, the Nazis aren't terrorists.
Okay, well, do you believe that they were an enemy that the Britain had a right to bomb?
Yes.
So when they bombed Dresden,
but we were
killed 25,000 civilians.
We were at who were
the Nazis
we at war
embedded
with?
themselves in.
Who
How
were we
you don't
at war
think
with?
That's morally justifiable?
Who were we at war with?
Who do you mean? Who were we at war with?
When in World War II, who were we at war with?
The British were at war with the Germans, I believe.
With the Germans, okay. Is Israel at war with Gaza, or are they at war with Hamas?
Well, I guess you could say that they were at war with the Nazi Party.
No, they were not. You can't say that because it's not true.
Oh, so
they weren't at war with the Nazi
Nazis?
Party. They were at war against Germany.
Because there were actually over 500,000 Jews in Germany, and I don't think that the British were at war with the Jews.
Yeah,
but
you think
sir,
you're making
they were. You think the Jews were Nazis?
Sir, what I'm saying is that we make a differentiation between an armed country's military, okay, as in Germany, okay? We can tell who is an armed, uniformed military personnel in Germany, okay? And somebody that you just admitted, okay, on here is not a country's military and also does not wear a uniform because they hide amongst the civilian population. So when I'm making the comparison to Al-Qaeda, okay, I'm making a direct comparison against with a country with a formal military like the United States, like Israel, going after a terrorist organization. You are not making a comparison. It's a false equivalence.
Well, Hamas is actually the governing body of Gaza, right? And to say that they're not a military organization is I don't think that's true, because they launched 3,000 rockets at Israel on October 7th. They murdered over 1,200 Israelis.
Yeah,
and they
and that's
still
all horrible.
currently have over 140
And that's all
hostages,
horrible.
right? So to say that they're not an army is just false.
They're not an army.
And the fact that you're saying that the
How many
Nazis
people has Al Qaeda
differentiated
killed
when they were in Dresden just proves the point even further.
How many people did Al Qaeda kill? How many people did the PLO kill? How many people did the freaking was it the Irish what are they called? Freaking lose my. How much has every terrorist organization killed? How many hostages have they taken? You can't use a terrorist organization killing people and taking hostages to now claim that they are a formal army. That's not the way that works.
So you don't think Hamas is the governing body of Gaza?
Of course they are, but even most countries across the world separate the military wing, which as a terrorist organization, and the governing body as not.
Okay, so let's take the Nazis, because that's the one that
Why do you want to, sir, I already explained to you how the Nazis are a false equivalency. Why? I've already explained it to you.
So you don't think that Hamas is a military organization that had over 50,000
I just said that they were. What are you talking about, dude? You're twisting yourself up over here, bro.
Yeah, in what way?
You're twisting yourself up. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So then we can go back to my initial claim that Israel has a right to go after Hamas.
I already agreed with that.
It's their moral justification.
I already agreed with that.
Okay, so then we're in agreement. That's why.
No, we're not in agreement whatsoever. Sir, have you not been here? Have you not been here for this whole entire conversation?
I have.
This is, sir. This is why I told you to put your script down. Okay, and have a conversation with somebody. Okay. Yeah, that's why I told you to put your script down. Okay, and actually have a conversation, because you went back to the point that we've been discussing the whole time, and I've already made myself very clear on.
So what is your point back to what my claim was?
I'm sorry. What?
So what is your point that we disagree on? Our point of contention.
Yeah, you believe that Israel should be able to indiscriminately bomb and kill children and innocent civilians, and I don't.
So how do you believe that they're able to destroy Hamas without doing that?
I've already explained that.
So can you give me an outline of what that would look like?
I've literally already explained that.
So can you give me an outline of what that would look like?
Counterintelligence, fucking, targeted attacks. These are not new things, dude. We've been fighting terrorist organizations for longer than I've been alive.
So I actually think that Israel does do their very best, better than any other army probably, to avoid civilian casualties. And the few that there are, not the few, I mean, every single life is unbelievably important. But I believe that the ones that I do. I honestly
no, you don't. You literally just said in this freaking conversation that you are okay with Israel killing civilians in order to get to possible terrorist targets that have not been confirmed.
I believe that's justifiable. I do.
Exactly. So therefore every life is not valuable. Israel is currently right now, okay, shooting people on their way to get food.
Okay, so if you're going to, I agree with you that there are definitely going to be specific examples of psychos and unjustifiable examples that like the one that I think you're referring to with the humanitarian aid.
This has happened dozens of times by the Israeli military.
100%. I agree with that.
That's not a psycho. That's not a random one-off. That is a systematic unaliving of a civilian population that are trying to seek humanitarian aid.
Intentionally?
Sir, no one said genocide. We never even got to that part.
Wait. So you're saying they're intentionally murdering people?
100%, yeah.
So what, in what term of way, like an ethnic cleansing, or just randomly?
Does every killing of someone have to be an ethnic cleansing?
So what is your claim then?
I'm saying that the Israeli army is killing civilians who are not terrorists, knowing that they're not, okay, and doing it anyways.
Is that in the intention of killing Hamas people also, or is it just you're saying?
No, these are civilian people that are trying to get food.
So but you're saying this is like a systematic planning also.
Sure, whether it's a systematic plan or not, it's happening, and Israel's doing nothing to stop it.
But I agree with you that those examples are wrong. But if you're trying to suggest that this
how is that self-defense
planned and pushed by, that part isn't. I agree with you.
Okay, this is why I don't. This is why I don't support the United States government funding Israel while they continue to do these things.
So because of a few examples that are unintentional, and unless you're going to say that they are intentional.
I've already made 3 different examples. I'm talking about specifically just this one dozens of times when again, they've denied humanitarian aid. They've stopped food from coming in. They've stopped medical supplies from coming into the country. Okay. Now, they've allowed certain types of food at certain areas, which is not enough, where people are having to travel freaking, miles and miles and miles and miles and miles in order to get to food. And then the Israeli army is shooting down people. Okay. Like unarmed people just trying to get food to get to the food spots.
Okay, but why do you think
how is that an
attack?
How is that an attack on a terrorist organization?
Intention. I just think that, like, look, if you're going to say that Israel is intentionally killing civilians without knowing that they're not Hamas,
they are,
and with no other intention than to just blatantly kill them,
they are,
then you're making a claim that Israel is trying to ethnically cleanse Gaza or to commit a genocide.
See, you want me? No, sir. Here's what's happening here right now. Here's what's happening right now. Okay. You are trying so hard, because again, it's part of your script, which is why I told you to put it down. Okay?
I'm not on a script, sir.
You are trying so hard.
I appreciate the.
You are trying so hard to try to get me to say that they are ethnically cleansing someone, because that falls into your script instead of listening to what I'm fucking saying. Okay,
sir,
if you would pay attention, these are not examples, sir. An example is once or twice. When this is happening, fucking literally, fucking weekly. It is the intention of the army, sir. Do you think the army is, sir? Do you think that the army is unintentionally aiming their weapons at a civilian population and pulling the trigger? Is that what you're saying?
I believe that's a niche minority of examples.
It's a niche minority of examples that's happening at every single humanitarian site on almost a weekly basis.
I think you're over exaggerating those numbers.
I'm not. I'm actually under exaggerating the numbers for the sake of this argument. I'll
agree with that. Yes. Yeah. I do.
Yeah, gotcha. So if a country's army is doing something consistently at every single point of food, consistently over and over and over, that is systematic. Yes, you don't get to say that's not systematic.
That by the humanitarian aid points, Israel has crossed too far. But let's say you agree with me though that Israel does have the right to go into Gaza and bomb the buildings. That Hamas.
No, I already said I didn't agree with that. You asked me. The entire point of your conversation was that you support Donald Trump for his support of Israel, and I am saying specifically that I do not support Israel's systematic killing of the civilian population in Israel. And as a country, how we do things matters. Okay, so if we are no, I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
Okay,
I'm not finished. How we do things matters. So if we are supporting Israel, who is systematically killing civilians, then I don't want my tax dollars going to that. Why do you?
So do you believe that intent matters when assigning moral blame in war?
Do I believe intent matters when assigning moral blame in war? I don't think that we can assign moral blame in war.
So do you think that intention matters in morality or no?
Do I think intention matters in morality? What are you getting at, Socrates? What are we talking about?
I'm asking a question. It's a yes or no.
I don't understand your question. I don't know how it's relevant to anything I just said.
When you do something, does your intention matter?
Matter to who? Matter in what context?
Matter in terms of morality.
In morality, my morality is subjective. My morality is different from your morality, and my intentions towards a moral thing could be different from your intentions towards a moral thing. So therefore, that is completely subjective and irrelevant.
So you're saying intentions do not matter?
I'm not saying either of those things. I'm saying that your question is a fallacy.
Why?
I just explained it.
Because intention, we have different understanding of morality?
What? Dude, morals are subjective. That's just what they are. Okay.
Agreed. Okay.
They're
fine.
subjective.
So do you think that you're trying to is immoral?
No, I don't think that. I don't think that freaking killing people is as moral or immoral.
So do you think that let's say just killing an entire ethnically cleansing people is immoral?
Me personally, yes, of course it is.
Okay. And so do you think though if you did that intentionally, that would be more important than if you did it unintentionally?
No, I think if you're ethnically cleansing somebody, it's bad regardless of intention.
I agree.
And also, it's impossible to ethnically cleanse someone unintentionally.
Agreed. Right. So let's say that Israel did have that
question
intention.
Is a fallacy.
Don't you think they would have? Don't you think that they would have been able to? If you're saying that Israel has a systematic approach that they fundamentally want to kill civilians, don't you think that, as you said, Israel, one of the strongest armies, could have just carpet bombed the entire Gaza?
Yeah, they
instead of
totally
doing
could
it
have.
through humanity.
They
So
totally
then
could
why
have.
is that they didn't?
Oh yeah, that's
Because
easy
they
because they would have
clearly
been
don't want
complete
to.
because they could
They
have
clearly are trying to
sir,
avoid civilian
don't ask
casualties.
me a question.
They clearly plan
Sir,
out.
don't ask me a question
They
and then
clearly
answer the
drop
question.
out flyers.
No, you're asking a question and then you're answering the question because you don't actually want my answer to it.
Okay, so what is your answer to it?
Yeah, because they would literally be ostracized by the entire fucking world and completely sealed off. The entire Geneva, they would be freaking brought up on war crimes, and most likely, seriously,
And they already are.
and literally probably every single other Middle Eastern country would then have no choice but to band together and attack them. And they know
already
that.
did. Israel attacked from 7 fronts.
I'm sorry, is Saudi Arabia attacking fucking Israel right now?
No, however, though, but I'm saying, do you
Okay,
think
cool.
that
Just
Israel's
making
intention,
sure.
had they wanted to be, do you think they would have wanted to ideally just carpet bomb Gaza and kill 3 million
I think
people?
if Netanyahu had his way, 100% he would. But I don't
So
know. I
then
don't know.
why would they drop-
I don't know inside the man's head. But it might, yeah,
I know,
I think
but I'm
if he
saying,
did it, you want to, for sure he would.
But what you're saying then is that they don't care about the lives, and in fact, they want to get away with as much killing as they can before the
I
world
didn't say they
recognizes
wanted to get away with as much as they can. You're putting words in my mouth. Why are you not
But you're saying
engaging?
that they're-
Why are you not engaging with the conversation, sir?
I am. I'm asking
What
questions
was
to
your
try and find
original
out your
point?
political stance.
What was your original point?
Don't circle back because this is a good point. Please let
Because
me just finish
it's
it.
not a good conversation. You have just completely lost your entire point.
Why? Are you
Your
scared of this
entire point is
conversation?
that you
Are
support
you scared
Trump.
of this conversation?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Sorry. I'm so scared.
Okay, so let's finish
No,
this point.
no,
Like,
no.
you're
Now
not.
I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
That's not
So
how
then-
that works. I don't play your little "Are you scared" thing. Okay. I don't play
So then
that
let's
shit.
finish the
Okay.
conversation.
No, now we're not finishing it at all. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Because I'm not
So
a
then you can't
child.
finish this-
All right. So
Okay.
I said I don't want my tax dollars going to Israel indiscriminately killing children. And your response is?
They're not indiscriminately killing children.
Yes, they are. We already
wouldn't be
proved
dropping
that.
leaflets.
Okay.
You're naming niche
They're blocking
examples. Then why are
leaflets before they
dropping
gun
leaflets?
down people at humanitarian sites?
Why are they dropping leaflets?
Did you say they're dropping leaflets and then gunning down people at humanitarian sites?
No, I just said they drop leaflets before they bomb buildings.
We're not talking about
Which there's
bombing
proof of on
buildings.
Reuters.
We
That's
moved
what
off
I'm
of bombing
talking about.
buildings a long time ago.
That's what my claim is, though. That I believe that that there are niche examples that you've mentioned that we agree upon.
Again, we already agreed that they're not niche examples.
Okay, fine. So let's say we agree that they're not niche examples. I'm focused on the majority of the Hamas attacking, of Israel killing Hamas, which is going to be in the Gaza City, in Rafah, in the majority of these places, not the humanitarian aid crossing points. And I believe that
So you're
they do
willing to
drop
ignore
leaflets.
the obvious freaking examples of ethnic cleansing while freaking in order to talk about other ones that you
So I
don't
believe
think
that
are.
ethnic cleansing.
See, I'm thinking
would
about them
require
all as a whole, sir. I'm not picking and choosing certain things, okay, that Israel is doing and going, oh, well, I like this one, but I'm going to ignore this one. I'm going to call this a little niche one or outside of the norm, but while I'm just going to support this one. I'm not doing that. I'm looking at the whole thing as one thing. Okay.
Yeah. So how many
Okay.
of the deaths?
So what I'm
of the
looking at
60,000
is
have been
what
from
I'm looking at
humanitarian
is
aid? How many?
what I'm looking at is tens
Yeah.
of thousands of dead children.
Yeah,
Okay?
and how many of those
And
came from
I
humanitarian
don't
aid?
want
versus how many came from the building?
don't want my tax dollars going to killing 10,000 children. Do you?
How many of those killings?
Do
though,
you, sir?
Came, how many of those?
Sir, do
killings
you want your
came
tax
from-
dollars going to killing children? Yes or no?
Let's just put it this way.
No, let's not put it
It
anyway.
depends-
It's a yes or no question. Do you want your tax dollars going to
Okay,
killing
no,
children?
I
Yes
agree
or
with
no?
that.
Okay, cool. Neither do
No.
I. Finally, we agree.
Yeah.
There we go. We got there.
We do agree on that.
Good job.
Okay,
That's
but
why I
can
don't
just
support
make this
Donald Trump
point?
supporting Israel.
Yeah, but the point is though that I do support Israel what they're doing. So to say that the fact that there are dead
So
children,
you do want
puts
your
the blame
tax
on
dollars going to
Israel?
killing children. See, you just went back on it that fast.
So do you believe
You
that,
just went
that
back on
when the
it that
Britain were bombing
fast.
the Nazis in Dresden, that you wouldn't support them? Because
And there you
they're
go
killing
again, back
children?
to the false equivalency that we already
Why
discussed
is that a false
3
equivalency?
different times. I've already explained to you why it's a false equivalency.
Okay, well, what about
2
in Al-Qaeda?
different
Do you think
times.
there was no civilians who were killed?
Of course
there were
there
no children
was.
who were killed when.
Of course
Oh,
there was,
so the
and I
second that-
condemn
so you
every single
support-
fucking. And I
you support U.S. killing children?
no. And I don't want.
but
And
you
I
said you
don't want
supported
my
the
tax
US 's attack
dollars.
on Al-Qaeda.
And I don't want my tax dollars going to the U.S. military killing children. And I am against
So you
any
don't think that
fucking
the US should
president,
attack
and I am
any terrorist
against,
organization?
and I am against any president who puts my tax dollars towards the U.S. military killing children. You see how easy
So
it is
you
to be
don't
consistent?
think terrorist organizations is a priority?
Of course, terrorist organizations are a priority.
But if the U.S. government was attacking Al Qaeda and children were killed, then you support that
No, I
attacking
don't.
terrorist
Of
organizations.
course, I don't.
Oh, so what is your stance? That we should attack Al
I
Qaeda?
don't. This is not a difficult stance, sir.
Wait, what?
This is not a difficult stance, and I have no idea why you're having such a hard time keeping up with it.
Wait, so your stance is what? That we should attack Al Qaeda or we shouldn't?
We should.
But in attacking Al Qaeda, we also had to kill children.
No, we didn't.
So there were 0 children who were killed in attacking Al Qaeda.
Yes, they were.
There were children who were killed.
Yes,
But you support killing children then?
absolutely
You
not.
support our government? Wait. So you support our government attacking
Okay,
Al Qaeda?
let me try to break this down
So
because you're having a
I agree with
real rough time. So I'm going to make this super clear. Does the United States have the ability to defend themselves against terrorist organizations like Al Qaeda? Yes. Should we be going after them to make sure that we kill them? Absolutely. Do some of those attacks end up with dead children? Yes, they do. Do I support the United States military killing those children? Absolutely fucking not.
Okay, so but do you agree
Because
that
I
in
don't
an
have
attack
to
on a terrorist
support,
organization,
sir,
it's
I don't
inevitable?
have to support the killing of civilians in order to support the killing of the terrorists. Okay?
So that's what I'm
you
saying.
can separate
I have
those
the
two
exact
things.
same stance as
You
do.
have to put them together in your head, but
Why?
I don't. Because you are. Because I've
But
been
I'm
listening
just
to you
saying the
do
same
it
thing as
for
you.
26
I
minutes. I've
support-
been letting you put
I
them together
support-
for the whole time.
I support let's just make it literally
Can you
compare
please
it,
show me
one-on-one.
where? Can you please show me at any point in time where the United States going against Al Qaeda intentionally attacked children?
No, but let's exclude those
No, you
examples.
cannot.
But
Can
we're-
I show
we're-
you
okay,
a
but I'm
time?
saying the same
Can I
thing. I'm
show
talking
you a
about the
time?
examples
Can I
with
show you a
buildings.
time?
I'm
Can
talking
I
about the
show you a
examples with
time?
buildings.
Can I show you a time when the Israeli military intentionally attacked children?
Yes, but make
Okay,
it one
perfect.
besides for
Well, then
humanitarian
there
aid.
we go. That was pretty simple. We got there pretty quick, didn't we?
So just humanitarian aid. That's all. So because of the humanitarian aid crisis, but the other 58, so that 1,000 deaths, less than 1,000. Actually, do you know how many deaths came from humanitarian aid versus regular bombing of buildings?
Sir, we're not even talking about the humanitarian anymore.
Oh, so you're talking about the buildings now.
Sir, yes, that's why I said bombing.
Okay, great. So of the bombings, yeah. So I'm sure that in the same way that Israel
I know, it's
is
getting
not
rough.
intentionally bombing civilians.
Yes, they are. And you already admitted that they were.
You give one example.
You already gave the example.
What? Which example?
You gave the example saying that you
Wait.
are 100% okay with the Israeli military bombing a hospital if it believes that terrorists are underneath it. So therefore, that is an intentional attack on children in order to
But you said
get
Al-Qaeda-
to
but you said
terrorists.
the US
Dude,
government
you're
could do the same thing with Al-Qaeda.
You're the one. No, I
But you said-
didn't.
Oh, so they have to attack Al Qaeda. You believe that they should,
Yes.
and even though inevitably children will die, you can still support that.
Not if they are intentionally attacking a place where they know children are. No, I do not support that at all.
But you know that there are going to be children inevitably dead.
I understand that there is collateral damage that is unintentional.
Yes.
Right. But this isn't unintentional. You already admitted that the Israeli military is targeting the place where the children are at. Okay.
Okay,
This
so
was
if
not
the entire
collateral
Al-Qaeda
damage.
organization
This was
had
not,
a
sir. This
child,
is not
Had
collateral
the Al-Qaeda
damage.
organization,
This
let's say
is,
Bin Laden,
sir. This
had
is,
a child
sir.
who was in his house.
Hello.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You already admitted this. Okay. And there was a reason. You're right. There was children and all sorts of things around where Bin Laden's house was. That's why the U.S. military didn't bomb it. That's why they sent in SEAL Team 6. You know how much easier it would have been to just bomb the entire compound where Bin Laden was?
So you think that every
Sir,
single
do you
time
know how
the
much?
US, if
Sir,
they knew,
do you know how much easier it would have been for the United States military to bomb the compound where Bin Laden was? Why didn't they do that?
yes. And because they didn't want to have intentional
To
civilian killings. In the
reduce
same way,
collateral
why do you think?
damage. That
Why
is
do you think
correct.
Israel-
To reduce
So why do you think Israel is
collateral
going in by
damage.
foot
Thank
instead
you
of just
so
carpet bombing Gaza?
Thank you so much for giving me a perfect example of how Israel could go after Hamas without intentionally bombing hospitals. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. This conversation has come so full circle that you are now giving me examples to help me out. I do really, really appreciate
so
that.
do you
Thank you
realize,
so much.
are you aware that
Okay.
Israel is actually sending in ground operations?
Are
Why don't they
you,
just
sir?
bomb it?
Are you aware that you are literally just talking in circles now?
I'm not, and actually the entire chat agrees with me.
So you're not aware of it.
No, I'm not aware of it.
Okay,
and because
cool.
nobody else is besides for you, who's a little bit freaking out
Literally,
in this
my
conversation
entire
because you're
chat
losing.
is just saying, this kid is talking in circles, this kid is talking in circles,
Calm
this
down,
kid is talking in circles.
calm down.
I'm
I'm
very
18,
calm,
calm down.
sweetheart, but I'm
You don't
done.
seem
I'm
it, though.
not, sir, I don't need your opinion on it, okay?
Okay.
Unlike
great. That's
unlike
the thing.
you,
You're
I am not
losing it.
justified by your opinion. But what I am done is talking to you because this is getting boring repeating the same shit to you, okay?
I'm sorry, you can't make a connection between Al Qaeda and Hamas because I can, and I understand.
I was the
that
one
when
who
Al-
literally made the connection. I was the one who
But
brought up Al
you
Qaeda.
can't say
Sir,
when the U.S. is
All right,
coming.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. I don't know if you didn't hear me when I said this. I am done talking to you. Have a wonderful day, okay?
Wow. So sorry to lose a conversation.
All right. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, we're going to move on to the next caller. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, he didn't make any sense, dude. As soon as he got off script, he was completely gone. Jay Lee, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said, are they on Earth? That kid I don't think was. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. Y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to the next caller and keep this thing going. If you guys would like to support the live, I do have super chats. I also have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. They're all in my pay links in my bio. So if you'd like to support that way, that is also great. And I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I am 38.
Awesome. Do you support Trump?
I do.
Awesome. What's on your mind?
Well, so how can you talk about how children are being bombed and then supporting abortion at the same time?
It's insane.
That's easy. Because
How is
abortion
that?
is not bombing children.
No, it's killing a child.
Well, no, it's not.
Why would you say it's not?
Because what's the definition of a child?
Okay. Let me go back. What is... It's still a life.
No, hold on. Oh, so now we're moving away from what a child is into what a life is?
What it is still a life, yes. I retract my original statement and I say it is a life.
Okay,
So
perfect.
it is still killing a life.
All right, it's killing a life. So now we're saying that all life is precious, correct?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So should we be able to remove cancer from a human body?
Should we be able to remove cancer from the human body? What's your definition of remove?
I mean, cut out and then throw away.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
yeah,
but
cancer,
those are
sure.
But those are living human cells, and they can have unique DNA, just like a fetus can or a zygote can. So, what is the difference between removing cancer and removing a fetus?
Because one is a living, breathing being.
I'm sorry. When do fetuses start breathing?
One has a heartbeat.
When do they start breathing?
I retract that statement. One has a heartbeat.
Okay. When do they have heartbeats?
6 days after conception.
That's not correct. 6 days. 6 days is not even close to correct. They don't even have a full heart. Freaking 4 weeks into a pregnancy, they're literally just a clump of cells. There's not even a heart to be beating yet.
Okay, so Planned Parenthood was started by a woman who believed in genocide.
Correct. She was a very horrible person. What does that have to do with? What does that have to do with the fact that a fetus doesn't have a heart at 6 days?
Okay, no, I'm just saying that's a terrible organization for one, and for two, it's still killing a life, a child. That whether or not it's at the beginning or the last stages, it is still develops into a breathing, living being.
Well, man, first of all, let's very much start that we don't just judge every single company by how they started. If that was the case, then I don't think we'd be driving Volkswagens in this car, considering I'm pretty sure they were started by the Nazis. Okay,
we're not judging though.
But that's what you're doing. You're saying that because it started off was created by a bad person, okay, means that the organization is bad now,
No,
and
no.
those two things don't relate with each other.
I switched subject back to the child. I'm saying from beginning to end, meaning not the business, but the child itself. It still turns into a living human.
No, it doesn't. I mean, what percent of implanted fetuses actually ever become a living human, like a child?
I don't know the answer to that.
I think it's
You
like
can tell me
20
though
or
if you do know it.
30%.
Okay.
Yeah, well less than half. Okay, of implanted fetuses ever become an actual born child.
Right.
Yeah. So at what the question is then where does it actually start, right? Because it obviously doesn't start as far as cellular life. You've already shown that you don't have any care for just cellular life. We lose cellular life every day. We shed off skin cells, right? And being a zygote, a singular celled organism, is not a human being, right? And so then we start to talk about like what actually is being human. Right. And I think that that's really an important thing for this conversation is what is being human, right? So what do you believe a human is?
Many things. A mammal, a male or female mammal, that is living, breathing, that contains, carbon and oxygen and, is made up of molecules and has electricity running through. I mean, lots of things, lots of little tiny aspects of science create what is remarkably human.
Right. So those are all components of what a human being would be. Okay. But those things aren't what to make us into intricately human. Right. Like truly.
Right.
Because everything that you just because
is
everything you just described also describes a goat.
Okay, sure. What differentiates us between other things and being human is the fact that we have complex thoughts, we have consciousness to a different degree. We have, I mean, that's at that stage of being human. I would say that, yeah, that like being alive and breathing, those would be some of the factors.
Yeah, and I can agree with you there, right? Sentience.
Mm-hmm.
Sentience is what creates us creates us as human beings. Okay, perfect.
Sure.
So when in the stage of development do doctors agree that the overwhelming majority of doctors who study this and stuff like that agree that sentience occurs within a fetus? If you don't know, I don't know is a totally okay answer.
Well, if that means being self-aware, I mean, or having those complex thoughts, I mean, being self-aware doesn't really happen until even like way later in life.
Well, again, we're just talking about sentience, the understanding of that you exist, right? Like having understanding.
Well, I don't have it. I mean, like if I try and remember my first memory, it's definitely not in the womb.
So how about this? How about we go with consciousness? When did doctors say that we develop consciousness?
I would say probably at, doctors probably say it happens at birth. I believe it to be prior, and I have reasons for that.
No, actually, doctors don't believe it happens at birth. Actually, doctors believe that happens between 20 and 24 weeks of gestation.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so that's when it happens, somewhere in between that stage. Okay.
Wow, that's really cool.
Now judges the question: what percentage of abortions happen before the 21st week?
Before the 21st week, I would say probably. I have a feeling you're going to say all, but if I had to guess, I would say it's not all. Okay, I would say probably 60%, 70.
99.1%.
99.1%.
99.1% of abortions, okay, happen before the 21st week. Okay, it's a ridiculously overwhelming number. Okay. So we're talking about
Okay.
a clump of cells that happens before sentience, that happens before consciousness, that happens before, before any of these things happen, right? So why
Mhm.
should someone, how can you then make the claim, right, that women are, not women, that places like Planned Parenthood are killing children on something that is not conscious, not sentient, and it's just a clump of cells?
Well, because of the investigative work that was done by the people that went undercover, literally interviewing the director and among other people that worked at Planned Parenthood, that said that there were rooms specifically where they had body parts of babies, and they have this thing called dip, and dip is supposed to kill the baby before it's taken out, if they have to take it out in pieces. And she said that they never use it ever, like hardly ever, among
Now,
many other things.
does that
And
sound
it is,
like, truthfully, does that sound logical to you?
no, but people are illogical.
You're
Like,
right.
you
People are
can't.
illogical. Do you think that that would be legal in any place ever?
But that's the thing. You think everybody abides by the same rules ever?
Hold on. So you think, all right, that these people have been avoiding the law for just decades on decades on decades, and a couple debunked undercover people proved it all right?
I think that the director of Planned Parenthood was caught on camera directly saying these things at over 2 hours of footage.
Why would the director of Planned Parenthood even know about any of these things or be saying any of those things to anyone? Because again, that would be the most illegal shit that's like ever fucking happened ever. So why would they ever say that to anyone?
Because if it happens, and what they were going undercover as, which I honestly can't remember what it was, had a purpose behind them knowing this information.
Yeah, these crazy claims of this undercover thing, none of them have been substantiated.
It's insane.
One single time.
It's all over you.
Yeah, so are
It's
videos of
literally-
Sasquatch. So are videos
Okay,
of people
but, like,
proving that the Earth is flat.
but that doesn't mean they don't exist, because I mean it could. Potentially,
no, Sasquatch doesn't
exists. I don't mean the Earth is flat.
Sasquatch doesn't exist. The Earth isn't flat, and these videos are bullshit, and they have been debunked multiple times. Okay, like you do realize that it's like, I think it's like 1%, or I think it's 5%. That's the right number. Less than 5% of what Planned Parenthood does is even abortion.
I don't believe that for a second.
Well, unfortunately, we have all of their data and records, and we know that less than 5% of what Planned Parenthood does is abortion. The majority of what
else do they do?
Cervical cancer screenings, contraception, birth control, all sorts of different things.
I mean, I know that they offer those things, but
they really very much specialize in women's healthcare. And when you start to defund things like women, like Planned Parenthood, what you're really doing is taking away women's healthcare. People are putting all sorts of stuff in the chat: mammograms, counseling, freaking all sorts of stuff.
What about do they help fathers too?
I'm sure that they probably provide something, but I think it's mostly for women. But they do semen.
Okay.
Yes, I know they do semen for all sorts of things like STD testing, things like that.
Do you think that men should have a say whether or not a baby is born?
No.
Why? If it takes two to make a child, why does he have no say? Because that would mean that would make men different than women, and that would make them not equal.
That would make men and who said anything about anybody in the United States being equal?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
it doesn't take two people to make a baby. It takes one person to make a baby with the genes of another one. But it still takes two people to make to be intimate. How many men in the history, how many biological males, right, in the history of humanity, have ever died from childbirth?
Maybe a few heart attacks, but nothing directly.
Yeah. How many of their bodies have been, permanently affected, where they've had long-term medical side effects from carrying a fetus?
None. Maybe when it comes to conception, there's effects that they have, but it's still a child cannot be born without a male. A child cannot be born without a woman. They each play a role.
No, I mean, you just need the DNA from a man, really. Then the man can leave. I mean, I can literally go down to a bank and give a sample, and then and not never even meet a woman, and they could go and sell it off to whoever.
Without that DNA, it can't be. Without that DNA, it can't be.
Right, but that's not
done.
me making the child. I'm not helping.
No, but you're helping by giving your DNA.
That's not help. That is, ma'am. This has to do with a woman's ability. Okay, to her own body. Okay, to her own body, the effects it has on the body, and her ability to carry, a fetus for 9 months. And there's many reasons in which women choose to have an abortion. None of which, personally, are my fucking business, to be completely honest with you. And it could be anything from health issues to maybe there's lots of circumstances in the United States where where women have 2-3 kids, they don't have the ability to feed and house the children that they have. They're afraid that their other children are going to suffer, starve, die, if they have another child, or they have to have time to take off work. They don't have the ability to have the money, or really anything from like ectopic pregnancies or complications with non-viable fetuses. There are so many different
adoption is always an option.
Yeah, our adoption system, in which children are systematically abused, that is overran already. And again,
I agree with you there. I will completely agree.
Yes, and
I think it needs to be reformed terribly. I completely agree with you there.
Right, but again, we're kind of ignoring again the part about a woman freaking carrying the baby. Is she going to be able to work? Is she going to be able to feed her other children, or take care of her family, or do any of the other things that she needs to be able to do to actually take care of her children that are there?
Well, then she should have been responsible in the first place to take contraceptive.
Maybe she
or to
did.
Use contraceptive.
Nothing is 100% effective. There's no contraceptive that is 100% effective.
Fair enough argument. Sure. But that's still, I still think men should have a say, because it wasn't done by herself. I mean, if a man wants to take care of a baby and wants that responsibility, it's not going to be any sweat off that woman's back for 9 months to carry a child.
All right. If I go out tonight, which I'm definitely not going to do, right? But if I go out tonight, right, pick up some girl I barely know, right, have relations with her, and she gets pregnant. But before I even find out that she gets pregnant, I disappear to another country. She doesn't even know my name. What responsibility do I have?
You have no responsibility at that point. That is absolutely true. Zero. Now, although I believe that woman has a responsibility to at least give that child a chance to be put up for adoption.
Do I have to pay child support while she's pregnant?
No, because in the laws that we provided as a government say no.
Correct. And why is that?
Because we don't have to physically provide for the child other than food at that point.
No, because the Constitution says that you get... Oh, where'd she go? I was really into that conversation. I was having fun. Anyways, she left. I have no idea what happened. She just left. I was right in the middle of that thing. We were getting ready to go into the 14th Amendment and everything else. Rachel, thank you so much for the $20 on Cash App. Big W's in the chat for Rachel for that $20. Says confirmation bias has MAGA in a chokehold. 100%. Thank you so much. Big W's chat for Rachel. And Roxy, thank you so much for the $1 Venmo. Says, how does she feel about the BBB cutting Snap and Wick? I was on my way there when she hung up. I did read that. I was on my way there. I was leading into the legal side of things. I thought I had more time. I'm sorry, Roxy, but thank you so much for the $1 Venmo. MKN, thank you so much for the €5. I appreciate that. It says they're using Hamas as a big shield to justify their atrocities on civilians while doing a very bad job getting rid of Hamas. Yeah. Yeah, if that military is so good, why have they not eradicated Hamas yet? If they know where they're all at. It's not a curiosity. But thank you very much, MK, and I appreciate that. Stacy, thank you so much for the $5. Says Planned Parenthood provides preventative and other health care to people who may not be able to afford it otherwise, not just abortion. Planned Parenthood saves lives. And a lot of lives. And a lot of lives. Okay? A lot of lives. All right? Thank you so much, Stacy. That is 100% correct. And Jeffrey said, they said dip like from Roger Rabbit. Roger Rabbit can't make it up. Yeah, the things people believe on that is crazy. Sid, thank you so much for the $5. This abortion is a personal choice. There is no compulsion in religion. To each their own. Yeah, in this country we have rights. Okay, and I was wondering when the religious conversation was going to start, but to each their own. All right, y'all. We're going to keep this thing moving. Seraphim, thank you so much for the money gun. I appreciate that. We're going to keep this thing moving, y'all. Make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And like I was telling people earlier, if you'd like, a calmer live or a different view of your live, just also remember, I do have a landscape live going on YouTube, and I also have it on Twitch. So if you'd like to go to Twitch where it's super calm and almost nobody shows up over there, please go over there, follow me on there, and maybe and have a possibly a different experience, a more enjoyable one. So plus I'm really looking for followers on Twitch too, so hook you up. All right, anyways, we're gonna keep this thing moving, y'all. If you guys would like to support the live, I do have super chats, as you guys see. I love to throw them up on the screen in between callers, talk about them, and have fun. So if you'd like to support the live, that's a great way to do it. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Also, I do have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. They're all at Polypolitics. They're all in my bio, and I have my live gift code one day. So if you like to support the live, those are great ways to do it. Thank you guys so much. Hello, how are you? All right, goodbye. Hello, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you doing?
Doing well. How old are you?
41 now.
How old?
41.
All right. So, do you support Trump?
No, I don't.
All right, man. Hey, sorry, I'm only looking for Trump supporters right now, but I really appreciate you.
Oh, well, I used to.
Oh, well, I'm glad you decided to make better choices in life. But I am still going to move on. Have a good one. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 15.
Sorry, you do have to be at least 18 to be here. I appreciate that, though. Thank you. All right, we're going to keep moving on and see if we can get on to the next caller. Sorry, please be at least 18 years old. I appreciate that. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, baby boy? I remember talking with you.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I remember you running away from our previous conversation. Yeah, so I'm a Trump supporter. Remember me?
No, I have literally zero idea who you are.
You act like that. You act like that, all right? Yeah, our conversation previously was about immigration, my guy.
I don't know who you are.
Sure you do.
All right.
Anyway,
well, I'm just going to move on to the next person then. Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hi, how are you today?
Good. Been watching your live feed, actually.
You have been. Have you been enjoying it?
Yeah. I love the discussions, man. I love that people on different sides can talk.
Awesome. Did you subscribe?
I did.
Actually, all right. Welcome to being awesome over here. Now, next is for you to become a member. Now you got to become a member next. We'll get you there.
So, obviously, the live feed is not allowing me to go on, but I'm probably going to make a fool of myself. Look, I'm no Charlie Kirk. All right, I'm not the most knowledge person. Personally, on the lady's conversation, I think that she kind of leaves out a lot of different things. I'm sorry,
on which conversation are you talking about?
The abortion, stuff like that.
Okay, well, we'll see where this goes. I'm not really trying to have a huge another abortion conversation, but what part did she miss out?
What is it? A lot, man. But what conversations are you wanting to have? I'm down for whatever.
No, you're fine. What part did she leave out? I'll play around for a second.
Everyone has a right to do with what they choose. right?
Roxfox,
No
thank you
one
so
should
much
have
for
a
the
right
subscription on
to-
Twitch. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No one should have a right to tell someone what they can and can't do, right? That's what makes America great, right? Being able to be free, live free, do what you want free. The religious aspect of abortions is when a woman goes in to have an abortion, they're fighting evil with evil, taking away human life. Some people want to think that it's a clump of human cells. I think the factor of the matter is kind of like when you said that the whole fact that a woman has a right to get an abortion where a man doesn't have a right to say so. Being a guy that's gone through a scenario of a woman that I was with who had an abortion with the child that I put inside of her, it destroys a man. It kills a man, you know. True on what you said, condoms, birth control, it's not 100% legit. It doesn't work all the time. Anything can happen. If you choose to make the choice to have sex with someone, you have to be held accountable for your actions. To destroy a life
Rim, thank
like
you
that.
so much. I appreciate that. No, I think you need to be responsible for your actions. Rim, thank you so much for that subscription. I really appreciate that.
No,
I think,
you're right, 100%.
yeah. So did
If-
you
if-
have a
if a
conversation?
woman-
Did you have a conversation with this woman before about what would happen if she got pregnant?
Oh, we were in a relationship. We'd been together
Awesome.
for a
So
whole
did
year.
you have a conversation of what was going to happen if she was to become pregnant?
Yeah, we both agreed that
And what did
if we got pregnant,
Mhm.
then we would definitely keep it. The downside is her father instilled it in her head that she was not ready for a child.
She probably wasn't.
I don't think anyone is ever really truly ready for a child. I've got a 3-year-old right now, and let me tell you, even after saving the money and having all the stuff for for the child, I mean, we still weren't prepared.
Did you have the child?
But the fact, oh yeah, of course.
I thought you said she had an abortion.
This was a past relationship.
Well, that's
yeah.
the one I'm talking
this was
about.
past.
Whether you had the conversation with, sir. I'm not talking
Yeah,
about the next
so
one.
She had the abortion.
Oh,
based off of,
did you have the
know,
conversation with the girl that had an abortion on what would happen if she
Yeah.
ever got pregnant?
100%.
And what did you guys
100%.
say?
We both agreed that if we got pregnant, we would love to have a kid.
Oh,
We would love to. And
doesn't sound
and
like
of
that's the
course,
fact.
Well, with her father and the things that he said and what she did, and being that we were both young and both unknowledged on certain things, she went ahead and had the abortion.
Good for her.
I wanted to commit suicide.
I'm sorry to hear that. You should
Simply
get
for the-
counseling.
Oh, I'm good now. But the fact is when we say that a woman should have a right to have an abortion, but a man has to pay child support if he doesn't want to opt out of fatherhood, it's a double standard.
Actually, in a lot of states,
you
you can opt out of fatherhood and not pay child support. You can completely give up all rights to the child.
And you might be able to, and others. And like I said, I'm not fully knowledgeable on all this. I'm not here to say you're wrong or I'm right. I love having these debates and getting more knowledge.
It really just
but
sounds like
again,
it really just sounds like you're having a hard time dealing with the consequences of your decision.
No, I mean,
No, that's exactly what it
I
sounds
was-
like.
I was fully prepared. I was fully ready. I mean, I was working 60 hours a week.
No,
ready
no,
to
no. You weren't
provide.
prepared for the consequences of your decisions when you decided to have sex with somebody, which you were not clear enough on what her her stance was on abortion and whether she would keep the child or not. All right. You made the decision to sleep with somebody that you were not familiar enough with in order to make the decisions in order that were crucial to that relationship. And then when she decided to make that decision, okay, you were not prepared for it. And I'm sorry to hear that. Lots of us make bad decisions, when it comes to different relationships and stuff like that. Okay. But blaming her or her dad for her making a decision that was best for her, all right, or at least at the time believed was best for her, you don't get to make that decision, because at any point you also could have just walked away from that. And it sounded like you guys were very, very young, and you could have made the decision to completely walk away, and then her life could have been completely ruined because of a choice that was made, between both of you guys. But depending on how young you are, that could have saved her life, her health, her career, her future. That decision may have saved a lot of things. And it sounds like you moved on to somebody else and are happy with children now. So
do you think that, I mean, based off of what you just said, do you think that the fact that she regrets what she did, she's an alcoholic, shows that she's made the right choice?
Well, first of all, that's anecdotal. I have no idea whether that's true, and I don't know, how she feels about that
I mean,
thing.
but you made a comment,
I haven't talked
you put your
to her about
opinion.
that at all. Okay, but yes, there are people that that experience many mental health issues. There's also people that experience many mental health issues from having children that they don't want. That's also a big problem.
True. I mean, there is. I mean, mental retardation or kids with Down syndrome. But can we not see that maybe they still are?
Oh no, not just that. There are women that literally have children, are forced into relationships, or forced into, marriages, pregnancies. They have children, very, very healthy children, and then these children, they just dislike the children, or they hate the children, or they feel less about themselves because of the children. Haven't you ever seen when women go through different mental health issues with their children and drown their children in the bathtub? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, postpartum depression.
Yeah, it's horrible, right? So why are you so concerned about the mental health issues that go along with somebody who had an abortion, but not so concerned with the mental health issues of people that are not allowed to have abortions?
Well, who said that they weren't allowed to have abortions? Because I know that there's still abortions that are going on today.
Yes, and a lot of states have outlawed it.
Well, yeah, a lot of states have outlawed it. I think I'm going to assume most of Republican states have definitely outlawed being able to have an abortion, while most people tend to go to Democratic states that allow the abortion, if I'm correct, right? Maybe I'm wrong.
Sometimes, but sir, any of that. Oh wow, I didn't even see that we had a freaking hype train over there. Thank you so much. Yeah, dude, at the end of the day, man, I'm sorry if there were some bad things that happened in your relationship. I'm sorry if your ex is dealing with some mental health issues. No, really, truly, I am sorry for that mental health. There's lots of mental health issues in the world, but using that as an excuse to take the rights away from millions of women in the United States is just unacceptable. Okay.
I think the fact though is that we allow women to have the right to get an abortion and opt out of motherhood, irregardless of what the possibilities are, but we don't give men the right to opt out of fatherhood if they are not prepared. We don't.
Yes, we do. There are lots of states right now where you can literally opt out of fatherhood. Hell, freaking what was his name? It was that basketball player who just did it.
A basketball player who's got how much money?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, it costs very little money to opt out of fatherhood. He literally just did it. He literally just said, "I'll pay the child support, but I'm completely hands off. I don't want to do anything with this fucking
support, right?"
Yeah, Anthony Edwards. That's who it was.
He's paying the.
Yeah, but there's certain places where you don't have. Sir, you have to. Sir, I'm sorry.
I don't know any place that allows for a father not to pay 1 cent.
Sure, even if it was, your finances have nothing to do with somebody else's body. You're making a correlation between in between your finances and someone's body, and those things don't relate. Just because you have a financial responsibility to something doesn't mean that negates someone's freaking bodily autonomy.
So you're saying, okay? So let me ask you this: if a woman goes through with pregnancy and she has a child, then it's a human, right?
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell me the difference on a sonogram between a healthy baby and a non-healthy baby?
Sometimes.
Not really.
I mean, I couldn't. I'm not a doctor.
Right. You couldn't. Every
I couldn't, but I'm not a doctor. I mean, I think that'd be for doctors.
Well, neither am I. But I mean, I don't really trust doctors myself. But I think the fact of the matter is that even scientists have proven that once the sperm enters into the egg, there is a flash of light for life. Within 18 hours, the spinal cord is starting to develop.
It's just cellular life.
It doesn't matter. It's life.
Well, if you're again, sir, and I thought you just heard me talking to that last woman, which is why I didn't want to completely get into this again. Okay, but if you're comparing,
get into something different.
But sir, if you're concerned about cellular life, then we need to worry about freaking doctors taking cancer out of patients. because that is
I would
also
love for
cellular life. We should just leave
I
cancer
would
in.
love for that, but
You would
but
love for
doctors,
cancer patients to just die because we don't remove cancer?
no, I would love for doctors to actually remove cancer instead of feeding patients bullshit pills that don't
I didn't
work.
talk about feeding
Let's-
bullshit pills. We can't feed them bullshit pills either. We can't treat cancer because that would be killing cellular life.
How do you know? How do you know personally that cancer can't be treated? How do you
Sure,
know?
cancer can be treated in certain instances. You're advocating for it not to be treated.
No. If someone, look, I've had 3 family members die from cancer, and God willing, I would
Sir,
love.
you're not
for
listening to
cancer
the
to be
conversation.
taken out.
You're saying that when their conception happens, cellular life starts. Okay? Cellular life is also in cancer. Cellular life is in your skin. Cellular life is in your hair. We kill cells off
Okay, but
all the time.
You're talking about a child that is growing inside.
No,
of the
you're
mother's
talking about a
womb.
cell.
No.
No, you're trying to make it a child. It is a cell. It is a cell.
Okay, fine.
When
If
you
you wanna
said
go- if you wanna
scientists
go-
show
if
that
you
there,
wanna go
sir,
based off
when you
cells-
say no, when you said science shows that there is life, what they are saying is that there is cellular life. Okay, that life. Okay, that a
Insane.
cellular life begins. Okay,
You do realize that every person is born with cancerous cells in their body, whether they get activated or not.
you don't get what
Are
I'm
you,
what
are
I'm
you
saying
sure?
at all.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look, the fact of the matter is that when 2 people come together, a man and a woman, they get impregnated.
No,
create
they do not get
life.
impregnated. They do not get impregnated. Do
The
their
mother and
bodies
the father
do
are
their
gonna have a
body
baby.
do their bodies become one body and then both of their bodies become pregnant together? Are they connected
Through-
by the belly?
If you want to go into technical terms of Scientology, no, of course not.
Okay, awesome.
It's the
So
woman who's
they
pregnant.
don't get impregnated. Okay? She gets
Thanks to the
impregnated.
man.
They don't get
Thanks to the
impregnated.
Thanks to the man, correct?
No, the man doesn't
The
even have to be in
woman
the
would-
same state.
Oh, you're right. So, but the man has to unload his sperm in order for the woman to get pregnant, correct?
No, you can have it removed with a needle.
If a woman wants to get pregnant, she has the sperm of a man to become pregnant, correct?
Of a man someplace somewhere, sure.
It doesn't matter. It's a man has to get a woman pregnant. It does not matter.
No,
how
a
it
man
is
doesn't have to do it. The
injected.
doctor got her pregnant.
It doesn't matter. It's
Yes, it
still
does. The
sperm
doctor got her
from a
pregnant. The man just existed someplace else.
You're right, but it takes a man.
So what
to
you're
get a
saying is
woman
that men
pregnant.
have to exist. So yes, I will say men do
Oh,
have to
100%.
exist. Okay, but
You're
men
right.
don't have to actually be a part of it whatsoever.
You're right. A man doesn't have to be a part of it because men can go to a clinic, donate sperm, in order for a woman to be inseminated to become pregnant. Yes,
So if a
we
man
understand that,
goes and
they
drops
don't.
off his sperm as a bank, does that man have to pay child support on that child?
No, because the woman
Should
understands what she's getting
should that man be responsible for that child and have to pay child support on it? And should he have a say on whether she keeps the pregnancy or not?
Again, the woman.
But why
understands what she
not,
is
sir?
getting
Why
into.
not? If you need men like so bad and it's a man's choice, right? Because he had to, you had to donate sperm, right? And he made that choice to donate sperm. So therefore he must have the rights to, tell that woman what she can and can't do with her body, and to be able to,
Again.
he must have to pay child support.
You're going too far off a basis, because if a woman goes in and understands that she is going to be inseminated with a man's sperm who has donated, which a woman generally have the choice on which sperm they use from which donor, she understands what she's getting into. The man himself has been paid to donate sperm, but when a man and a woman are in a relationship, I get it 110%. She can be on birth control, he could use a condom, and something else could go wrong. The condom has a hole, or the birth control was bad. I get that. I understand that, and I
Dude,
can accept
everything you
that.
just described with a sperm donor is exactly what happens when some random guy and some random girl leave a bar. She
And at
still
that point,
she still chose to
wants
go
to
home
go
with
and
him.
get drunk.
She
You're
chose who
right.
it,
She
she
chose
chose
to go home
hold
with
on,
him.
hold on.
Yeah.
She chose who it was. Okay. She
Yeah,
chose to sleep
she
with him.
did.
She chose to have a
More.
donation, I guess, of sperm. Okay. And still none of that gives him the right to her body or to her pregnancy. None of
How many women?
that gives him the right to any of that stuff. Okay.
How many women do you
Sir,
think?
all this
Hold on.
is your inability to control women. Okay.
I
And
don't
you
care to
getting
control
really,
women.
really upset that
That's
you
your
don't
problem.
have
I
the
don't-
ability, that you
I
don't
don't
have
care
the
to
ability to
control
control
women.
women, that women in this case have the ability to make decisions on their own without any fucking input from a man. And you, as a man who have been taught some sort of privilege in your life and believe that you should be able to make decisions,
Privilege?
feel that you
My
should be
goodness.
able to make
Golly.
that decision. That's all it is, man. And I'm just letting you know that you don't have
what
it.
privilege?
Hmm?
What privilege? Hold on, Wiley, that's enough. What privilege? Tell me, at what point have I ever cared to control a woman, or I have any kind of privilege? I have no privilege
You don't
over
think
anyone.
you
except
don't
for
think being a
myself.
male is a privilege in this country?
At what point is male being a privilege at this country?
For
Please
the
explain that to
wage
me.
gap.
The wage gap? Okay, yeah.
That's,
How many women?
That's a great fucking start.
Okay, so how many women, if you want to go based off of wage gap, how many women are professional race car drivers? How many women are professional welders? How many women?
What does that have to do with the wage gap, sir?
You just said wage gap.
Sir, what's the wage
Explain
gap?
The wage gap. Do you know how many women are
Sir,
welders
what's the
at my
wage gap?
company? Well, you tell me what the wage gap
No,
is.
no. If
'cause
you're
I
saying
know-
all
I
of
know
this
the
shit,
wage
what's
gap
a fucking
between-
wage gap? Obviously, you have no idea what it is.
Well, you're right. I don't, because I go in and I
Yeah,
have
the
my
wage
third
gap
job.
is that if you have two people, okay, with the exact
Yep.
same qualifications, and they both work the exact same job, that women make a less percentage of income than their male counterparts, even with the exact same qualifications and the exact same experience.
So I know 4 women that are welders just like me.
Not
that make more
4.
money than me.
Wow, maybe we should relate this entire conversation to 4 women.
But I do. I know 4 women that are welders.
Dude,
that
this
make
guy
more
knows
money
4
than I
women,
do as a
bro.
welder.
We might this getting crazy.
I mean,
over
I know more women, but what I'm saying is on the wage gap. I know of 4 women who make more money than me as welders, as I'm a welder myself.
Sir, this is why we're not.
Again,
Sir, maybe you're not a very good welder. I don't fucking know. Okay.
No, I mean, I do stuff for
I
NASA.
truly have no idea whether you're a good welder or not.
But
Okay.
you're talking about
When
wage
I'm talking
gaps.
about
So
data, sir, I'm
explain to
talking
me
about
why it
data
is-
across all career fields, across all people within the United States. I'm
Why
not
do you- why do
talking
you- why do you
about
think that I
just
would know
that, sir.
Why do you think that I would know what the wage gap difference is between men and women? Why do you think I would know that? I mean, I'm just curious.
I didn't expect you to
I'm
know
a
that, sir.
simple-
You just
I'm a
said
simple
where's an
welder from
advantage of
Texas.
what's an advantage that men have, and I was just making an example of one. Let me ask you a question: how many presidents in the United States have been women?
None, thank God.
Oh, thank God. Why thank God?
Well, being the fact that I've only dated women in my life and seen how fast they overreact, I'm definitely glad that women haven't become president. And Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, I'm for sure glad that she definitely did not become president. Nothing against her specifically, just the fact that she deleted 30,000 emails. And, you know, between her and Bill, they've had how many friends commit suicide? The last standing
So
president
you
to
see
ever
how
stay in Washington.
you see how long it took us to get there. I'm just want to talk. I'm just talking to, just simply talking to the guests out there. Okay, you see how quickly we got to. I don't want to control women, but then all of a sudden, women are too emotional, and I'm glad never became president. Do you see how quickly we were able to move? Okay,
You're right. Let me
from one to
reiterate
the
this
other,
fact.
just out
I
of
don't
curiosity.
vote.
Okay,
I
it
don't
literally,
vote,
sir.
nor have I ever
Sir,
voted.
I'm talking.
Okay.
Cool, thank you.
It's America,
So
free speech.
no,
I'm just telling you, I've never
free,
voted.
sir. Obviously, you don't know what free speech is
Right.
either. Okay, but I'm
I
speaking.
know what free speech is. I'm just saying I've never voted.
Free speech is your ability, okay, to say something, and my ability to tell you to shut up. Okay, we
No,
both
not
have free
exactly.
speech.
You're
Okay?
right. We do.
Okay, so your free speech, the time for you to use your free speech is later.
Pull up
Right now,
now.
it's for you to be quiet. Okay.
Pull up now.
So, anyways, all I was trying to say was, you can see how fast we get to sexism. Okay, they want to pretend like this abortion conversation has nothing to do with the ability to control women. Okay, but the second I brought up a woman president, he immediately turns to sexism. Okay, because that's what it's about. It is a complete. All right, I'm gonna mute you since you're not worth listening to. This is what it always boils down to: is men not having the ability, okay, to control women's bodies, and because they're so used to being in control of everything. Until they get that ability back, they will continue to restrict women's bodies. They will restrict bodily autonomy, and they will restrict women's, ability to just live their life, because they just can't stand that. But anyways,
Am I muted now?
Yeah, I just unmuted you just to let you know that I don't want to talk to you anymore. So
Of
go
course.
away. Anyways, thank you guys so much for all the people over on Twitch. How you guys doing over there? I love seeing the people lighting up my Twitch over there. I saw a little hype train over there for a second. That was pretty cool. Y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, we're gonna keep this thing going for a little bit longer. Let me make sure I hit up any of the super chats. We got one Pixie. Thank you so much for the jewels. I appreciate that so much. Jonathan, as a cancer, big W in the chat for Jonathan with a $5 super chat, says, as a cancer survivor, screw this caller. Amen to that. Big W's in the chat. And I hit my sub and follower goal, Vicky. Oh my goodness. I don't even see that chat in there. Dang. I'm hitting sub and follower goals over here. Hell yeah. W's in the chat for Twitch. W's in the chat for Twitch. All right, y'all. If you guys would like to support the live, I do have super chats open, as you guys like to see. I like to bring them up between callers. So if you'd like to support, it really, really does go a long way to help me keep doing this every single day. So I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I also have my pay links in my bio, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. They're all at Polypolitics, just like my name. So thank you so much for that. Lay, thank you so much. Said, you're looking especially pretty tonight. Sending love for the stream with the $1 Venmo. I really appreciate that. Cheryl said the $2 Cash App. Thank you so much for that. Say he voted for someone who's trying to take free speech. 100% he does. That is crazy, trying to claim free speech and supporting Donald Trump, isn't it? Wild. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, we're going to keep this thing going. Move on to the next caller. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Oh, there it goes. Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Am I on the stream right now?
Nope. How old are you?
I'm 19. June 2006.
Awesome. Do you support Trump?
I don't support his morality, but I do support some of the things he stands for.
Okay.
I like to preface this with saying I have total respect for what you do and the way you go about stuff on your life. I'm all for open debate and stuff. So yeah.
I appreciate that. So what's on your mind?
I kind of, honestly, I kind of just want to hear your opinions on my main reason. I didn't vote for Trump in this past election. I voted third party, but my main reason I wanted to come on here was to ask what you think about Trump's economic policies, because we have seen a lot of growth in the stock market, and I mean that kind of stuff. I feel like he does do a good job with the economy.
Well, Donald Trump said that the stock market is not a good indicator of the economy.
That's true. Would you?
That's what he said. I didn't say.
No, I get that. But I mean, I would personally say stocks are a pretty good. I would disagree with him on that. I think stocks are not a great representation of the economy, but I think they do represent trends, and we have seen highs in stock market. And I also feel under Biden, just for like the purchasing power we have, like the ability to buy a house, interest rates, daily groceries, like all of that were ridiculously high. Would you agree with me on that?
No, first of all, we had record highs of the stock market under the Biden administration while you're complaining about all of those things. So that doesn't quite vibe, okay, with your stance on it showing trends. Second of all, I will agree with you that inflation was high, but that had nothing to do with Biden.
Do you think Biden played a role in the inflation? You don't think he
No,
played a role in the inflation being
absolutely not. I mean, he
What
played
do
a
you
role
think
in the
played
recovery from the inflation.
What do you think played the biggest role in inflation during his
COVID.
term? COVID. Do you think Biden handled COVID well?
I think he handled it pretty well, yeah.
Do you think?
But
Trump
let's also
left,
remember,
like,
how old did you say you were again?
19.
Did you watch the Republican primary for when Donald Trump was getting primaried in the 2020 election?
If I did, I can't say I recall much of it.
Okay,
Sorry.
well, he was debating Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, who were running against him, right?
Oh yeah. I did.
Yeah, and they said in that, in that debate, we are about to experience super, super high inflation because Donald Trump's reckless spending and is adding to the national debt. He is literally printing money, which will lead to super high inflation. They said that in the debate.
Yeah.
And then we had super high inflation.
Yeah.
And then everyone blamed Biden.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily completely blame Biden for it, but I feel like Biden didn't, towards the end of his presidency, like the Biden we saw was nowhere near the same Biden that beat Trump. And I mean, earlier in his political days, like he had obviously lost, mental capacity. That's not his fault. I mean, it just comes with
By the
age,
time
but
Biden left
I feel
office,
like-
our inflation rate was below 3%.
I mean, yeah, it definitely came down, but during his presidency, it was like, did it get 7%? It was
It hit
around there, right?
9.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the world's inflation rate hit 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
think
the
a
inflation went
big-
across the entire world because of COVID.
Yeah, but I mean, also didn't the Russia and Ukraine war play a big role?
It did.
And do you think that was Biden's, didn't put enough pressure on Russia to not enter that conflict? Or, I mean, was there
Of course
anything
not.
he could have done?
They put pressure on Russia, which is the reason why they attacked.
Didn't Biden sign or kind of pressure Ukraine into signing something that would allow Russia to have the was it gas pipes or oil lines?
No, sir, you're very confused on what's going on here. The inflation rate spiked for the entire world after the reopening of COVID due to the shortage of durables. Okay, we had shipping lanes shut down, we had factories all shut down, we had everything shut down across the entire world. Okay, which created a on the reopening we required had a huge supply draw, we had a huge demand, right? Not enough supply. Along with things like, the lack of oil from sanctions on Russia, the shutting down of shipping lanes, the excess spending by the Trump administration, all those things happened. And then we had inflation. Biden didn't have any policies that could have possibly caused that inflation when it happened. Okay. He didn't have a singular policy or a multitude of policies or any combination of policies that could have possibly caused that inflation. It's impossible. All right.
Okay.
So when we're talking about friggin' Biden doing the inflation, it doesn't make any sense. Okay?
Yeah.
We know why inflation was caused. We have multiple research and lots of data showing why inflation was caused. And the number one reason was COVID. So unless you can somehow blame Biden for COVID starting, I just don't see what your point is here.
Of course, no. No, I just thought that with Biden shutting down the country, that it drastically hurt our economy. By the way,
Biden didn't shut down the country. Trump shut down the country.
No, Biden held the restrictions in place for a very.
They held Trump's restrictions in place.
He held them for too long, was what I was saying. By the way, sorry, the thing I misquoted, I meant Russia's Nord Stream 2, the pipeline to Germany.
Yeah.
That Biden pressured Zelensky into signing, which gave Russia's energy a sufficient boost before the war. One of the main reasons they were able to have such a they were able to set up for
They were
Ukraine?
sufficiently set up for that. Russia's been saving money for this for 2 decades.
That's true, but Biden pressured Zelensky into signing for that.
Right, but that had no effect on the war. Okay, like
You don't think that played a role?
The war was started because Ukraine was trying to join NATO.
Yeah, and Russia didn't want that to happen.
Right.
So, do you think that Biden should have forced Zelensky to sign that bill?
Sir,
Or
I don't think that
allow
has
it
anything to
happen?
do with the war. Okay, which had nothing to do with inflation.
Oh, as we said, inflation was greatly affected because Russia went into war with Ukraine, and then we
Which had
stopped
nothing to
buying
do with the
oil.
Nord Stream pipeline. That didn't have anything to do with it.
Okay, I must be misinformed.
I don't understand where your connection is, sir. I don't understand. You're talking about the Nord Stream pipeline, which is a connection from Europe to Russia. I don't see any part where Biden pressured him into making that deal. Okay, but even if you said for some reason that he did pressure him, which I don't see any evidence that Biden pressured them into signing some deal about the Nord Stream pipeline. Okay, even if he did, okay, that would have been something that would have decreased the likelihood of war, not increased it.
Okay.
So I don't
I'm
like
all
that,
for-
and that's where I don't
totally
understand.
open. I'm all for being informed. Must be misinformed on that. That's what I thought that being the Nord Stream pipeline gave Russia more energy to support going into war with Ukraine. So I must
They
be wrong
don't.
on
So
that.
the energy
I'm
was
happy
flowing
to
out
concede.
of Russia to Germany, not the other way around.
Did it not allow for
Russia's
them
one
to
of
have more of a connection into Europe?
Russia's one of the largest oil producing countries on the planet.
Oh, that's why gas prices came so high out here.
Gas prices went so high because of the OPEC Plus deal.
Well, I'm in California when Russia shut down.
It doesn't matter what state you're in. The OPEC Plus deal is what caused gas prices to rise.
No, I'm saying in California it got to like $7. It was
Well,
crazy.
yeah, because California is always high because they tax their gas higher.
Yeah, and everyone wants to live here. I get that. Did you think Biden had a strong presidency?
I think he had a good above average presidency.
Okay. Are you like far left, or are you more like middle, or not middle? Do you like align with the left?
That depends
Or
on
are
which
you kind of
country
like-
I'm in. In the United States, I'm far left. In most countries, I'm just barely left.
So did you believe Biden should have run for re-election, or do you think it was time for
I don't
him
think
to-
Biden should have
Sorry,
ran
I'm
for
going all
election
over
the first
place. I'm
time.
kind of picking your brain. Did you think Kamala should have overtaken him, or do you think Biden was pressured to drop? Would you still voted for him
Would I have still voted for Biden the second time?
if he hadn't dropped out of the race?
Yeah, of course I would have.
Okay. Interesting.
I would vote for the corpse of Joe Biden more faster than I'd vote for Donald Trump.
I mean, I didn't vote for Trump either, so I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I would have voted for like you. Look, Biden was too old.
Yeah.
Okay, we can all agree with that. You know who else is too old?
Yep.
Donald Trump. Yeah.
I did vote
So
for
what?
him.
I'm picking between two geriatrics that are too old to be president. Cool. I'll
Yeah,
pick the
kind of
I'll
one of
pick
the
the one that actually had. They've both been president. I'll pick the one that actually had good policy in their first presidency. They were
And
both
isn't evil.
they're both presidents. They're both geriatric, right? Neither of them are old enough to be or too old to be president. They're both too old to be president.
Yeah.
Donald Trump had shitty policy that only helped the rich and didn't help the middle class in his first presidency. Biden had great policy that helped the middle class. Brought down inflation,
Yeah.
largest infrastructure bill to ever exist, helping veterans, all that sort of stuff. So would I prefer to have Biden as president? No, I didn't prefer to have Biden the first time, president he was first time. He was too old for me the first time. He was too middle ground for me the first time. He was way too centrist for me the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, I
mean,
didn't
that
like
kind of
Biden
goes
to
to the
begin with,
problem.
but if you have the choice between
Yeah.
two geriatrics, I'm going to pick the one that's the best. And Biden was by far
it's
the
not
best.
evil.
Yeah, that wasn't even
No, I
close.
completely agree. No, I'm just asking because, I watch your lives pretty often, and I see you're very well versed on different topics. So, I'm all for being educated. I just kind of want to pick your brain about different things,
Yeah, well, I do really appreciate that. Thank you so much. But I think I am going to drop you.
All good.
Yeah, because, well, honestly, I just don't really want to be live anymore.
I'm not a big I'm not big on Trump, so I'm not really your target demographic for debates. But I just wanted to say have a good night and thank you.
Yeah,
for
you
talking.
too. Yeah, I'm just gonna get off live because I just want to go watch the football game, rest of the football game. That's all. And my head's kind of hurting, so I don't know. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I do have a couple things to hit up real quick. My bad. Before I do that. Ooh, sorry. Danae, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate it. That's a favorite live. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you so much. I thought I saw another one too, but I can't find it. Anyways, sorry if I missed you. I apologize. I'm going to go watch the rest of the football game. I'll see you guys Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Central. See you guys then. Love you guys, all right? Bye.